just wanted to do a quick little video on our first week together. He's much more comfortable with me now. He's taking food and he's not trying to stay in the corner or anything like that. His first day definitely overwhelmed, and he's just gradually got a little bit more comfortable as the days have gone on. So I just kind of wanted to recap on the things that we've been doing. We're a little behind just because he wouldn't take food from me the first couple of days. So that was mostly spent just getting him comfortable with me and moving around me and engaging with me and things like that. So now that he's taking food, he doesn't like anything fancy. He just likes this kibble stuff that I have over here, Stella's Essentials. He really likes this. I don't know why. It's his jam that's left over from something that I was using with another dog that needed a little higher quality kibble. So I'm just introducing the different markers that I'm going to be using throughout training to shape our wanted behaviors. So a marker is just a cue or a sound that marks a moment in time that we like something. And then that cue is going to announce the arrival of a reward, so food for him. Over time, as I condition a response through association, every time he hears this cue, this marker, I'm going to present food for him to take, and then he will learn that that cue is going to announce the arrival of food. So then the cue, the marker, will take on the good feeling of food. So, what are you doing? So that way, when I'm luring him and I'm trying to get him into different positions, when he's showing me the behavior that I like, I can mark that moment in time, and that will bridge the gap between I like that and here's your food. Just because sometimes things can happen, he can come up out of behavior in that time that it takes me to go reach in my pocket and give him that food. So that is something that I use to shape the behaviors that I want. I have a different couple of markers that I'm using. The first one right now is just a clicker, so just a little mechanical clicker like this. This is something that I like to use because it is a fairly consistent sound. It doesn't change with tone or anything like that, so if I like something, I'm sort of liking something, I'm frustrated, whatever, nothing changes, it always sounds the same. So I like to use the clicker to mark behaviors. What it means is, I like that, come get your reinforcement. He doesn't have to do anything past that cue. Whereas other markers are going to be something that I use to build a little bit more duration. So once he's a little bit more fluent with things, I'm going to start using the word good to build duration in each behavior. So essentially, I'll put him into whatever behavior I'm looking for. I'll say the word good, I'll bring him food, and I'll keep doing that pretty continuously at first to keep him in that behavior, and then his release word is going to be okay, meaning he can come up out of behavior. We're just starting to work on that now that he's taking food from me. And then of course we have the word no, which is going to be the infraction marker, something that I use to interrupt unwanted behaviors or tell him that I don't like something he's doing, so no. And I will pair that one with some form of pressure. What? It's just somebody going to the bathroom. I think the clicker is going to be a big one that I use for him dealing with things that he's a little bit fearful. So we're going to use that to build up his confidence a little bit. So when I start taking him on field trips and he sees something that could potentially be problematic, instead of letting him do this and manifest feelings about it, I'm going to immediately mark it and let him come get reinforcement. So that way, every time those triggers are present, he gets something good from me. So I'm hoping that I can build a new association of those things that get scary. Right now we're doing everything just in the training room just to decrease the possibility of competing motivators. Just to set him up for success. I don't want him to have things around him that he's worried about and take his attention away from me just while we're here in this learning phase. I am starting to introduce him to the concept of leash pressure because he has no understanding of it. He's pretty keen on dragging and pulling into the leash. That is something that all animals naturally do. If you were sitting down and I walked, or you're standing there and I walked up and pushed into you, you would counter that just so that you could keep your balance. So that's exactly what dogs do. When you pull, they usually push back into, they resist that pressure. So I want to teach him that moving into the pressure is a good thing. So like this right here, he's nice and tight. As soon as he moves into that pressure, I will reward that. Unfortunately, right there, I clicked when he barked, so good job. Somebody just went to the bathroom around the corner, so he's very distraught over that. Oh boy, very nice. So I'll start doing that as adding that pressure in as I'm luring him into new positions. So like when I want to teach him to sit, I'm going to pull just ever so slightly up on the leash when I'm asking him to go into a sit, and then when I click to mark it, I'm also releasing that leash pressure to show him that when he goes into the behavior that I want, that pressure comes off. So the pressure amount that I'm using right now is so slight, I don't want it to be enough to where he feels he needs to respond to it. It's just an association that every time that pressure is applied and he goes into the direction that it's pushing him into, it goes away. So that way, when we get into situations where I need pressure to help manipulate him in some way, and I'm using pressure, force, I guess you would say, tension, he knows how to respond to that, and that'll help with pulling and all of that good stuff. But see, he likes me now. He's following me around. Oh boy, good job. There's a dog in there barking, and he's doing really well. He's a little bit stressed just because, I don't know who, someone just went to the bathroom, and he was not okay with that. They didn't ask permission from Milo first, I guess. What was that? You dropped it all on the ground. Nothing too exciting. Sorry if I'm all over the place. It's Friday, and I'm tired, and I have a puppy, as you guys know. What? Off. Good boy. So yeah, this is the first video, and I'll make more, and obviously give you guys updates.